I feel like we have more chance of making a difference talking to the ordinary people who are actually being hurt and being affected, because they're going to see it and they're going to be like, this is affecting me and my family, we need to do something about it. Whereas I can talk about it here with all these guys doing all their maths and algebra, they don't care really. They're comfortable and their family's comfortable and their community's comfortable, you know? This is Lamb and Flag, one of Oxford's many fine pubs. It was my favourite pub. Cash only for no obvious reason. This one's closed too. Let's check one more time for Stand By Me Man. If he's not there, like, I just hope that he's there, basically. It's not here, man. Stand By Me Man is not here. Okay.
Are you alright?
No, it's fine. Hopefully he's just, yeah. It's a really old church, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's the Saxon Tower of St Michael at the North Gate, the oldest church tower in Oxford. So this, I think, is Balliol College, which is Boris Johnson's old college. These are quite good heads. That's where we did our matriculation. Do you know what matriculation is? It's like where you're like formally enrolled into the university. Actually makes me, you know what, like walking down these alleyways makes me quite suddenly really nostalgic. What it was, I thought there was maybe, I thought a speakeasy. Yeah, I've never, that's the alternative name for speakeasy, stealth pub. This is it. You can see it, I fucking missed it. Yeah, turf is not far from the econ department, so yeah, every now and again when I just got too pissed off at the nonsense that we were doing in econ lectures, I would just leave and come here and have a pint. Sometimes you've got to do it.
£7.15 that please.
So when I came here, it was 2017, so I was 30 years old, about to turn 31. So I'd already like had the successful career in the city. So like, it was a funny one for me because I did economics and then I had a very successful career, and I kind of learnt in my career that what I studied at university was not particularly useful. So I kind of already thought like I'm coming here, you know, I was one of the best paid economists in the world, you know what I mean? So like, I'm thinking I'm coming here to discuss. But the professors, there were professors who looked at exactly the kind of stuff that I did, right? Interest rates, central banks, monetary policy. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm one of the best paid people in the world in this area, one of the most successful predictors in the world in this area. Let's talk about it. And they were not interested.
I know that's what
you
did, and we covered that today, but I just mean as...
From a class perspective.
From a class perspective. Well, do you think you
The thing is, by 31, I'd already been, you know, 6 years in the city, 3 years at LSE, and these are already places where there is basically almost no people from working class backgrounds. Actually, LSE wasn't as bad as the city and Oxford. So I've kind of become used to this, like, you know, you exist in the city, you're used to the fact that there's no people from working class backgrounds. I mean, it's frustrating because when you're talking about economics, you're talking about issues that affect people from working class backgrounds and people from privileged backgrounds differently. It was frustrating because some of my people on my course were just disconnected from what was happening, and it's so easy for them to just argue maths and like little technical points of philosophy, but they don't really. You know, like for me, it affects my sister. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, and my best friends from childhood. But for them, it's like a nice like philosophical debate to have in the pub or to have in the common room. You know what I mean? And it is frustrating when like you don't feel that they feed it on an emotional level. It's just like something to talk about. And they don't. I think it's, lack of class diversity in a lot of areas is important. But in economics, it just has this extra pain that economists should be discussing the economic problems of people's lives.
But it seems like the more advanced you've got in economics, the more exclusive it gets.
Yeah, definitely. It does. Yeah, for sure.
And that's even with you probably acclimatising to things.
And postgrad was worse than undergrad. And I'm sure if you do PhD, it'd be worse. And then the professors are the worst of all, you know what I mean?
Would you consider doing a PhD?
Never say never, but like, when you consider it would take so long, and I feel like when I worked in the city, if you were very good at what you do, you can progress very quickly. But I feel like in academic economics, it's a lot who you know, and just like, do you play the game right? And, listen, I'm a nobody, right? Like, I'm a short guy from a poor background in Ilford. I'm not like handsome like a model. I don't have no connections, you know what I mean? I'm not excellent at football. The only thing I've got is I can make good predictions, and because I understand the economy better than anyone else. That is enough to get you to the top in the city, but it gets you nowhere in academia, nowhere. So like, I would have to spend years working the game and making connections and doing all of this stupid academic maths on whiteboards. At the same time, the world's getting worse and worse and worse. And at the end of it, there's no guarantee that I'm going to fix anything. And there are good people in economics, right? There's most famously Thomas Piketty, but there's also Gabriel Zuckman and Mian and Sufi, Ludwig Straub, these guys, right? Like, who are doing this stuff in the academic space. But I don't think it's really possible at the moment, even if you're saying exactly the right things, to actually push through in economics. Because nobody cares whether you're right or not. Nobody even notices whether you're right or not. You know what I mean? So I feel like we have more chance of making a difference talking to the ordinary people who are actually being hurt and being affected, because they're going to see it and they're going to be like, this is affecting me and my family, we need to do something about it. Whereas I can talk about it here with all these guys doing all their maths and algebra. They don't care really. They're comfortable, and their family's comfortable, and their community's comfortable, you know? So, never say never, and I did enjoy, I'm good at maths and algebra, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the beauty of the model. But the problem is the people too often. I don't want to act like everyone in economics is a dickhead, because they're not. There's a lot of good people, but there are a lot of people that are just chat shit all the time, basically. And they don't care. They don't want to change anything. They're just careerists. They just want to write a load of papers, make a load of money. They don't care about being right. They don't care about what's happening. It's frustrating.
Frustrating listening to it.
It was frustrating being there, man. It was frustrating being there, but it was alright, I went gym every day. What can you do? Did a lot of algebra. I made some good mates. There are some good people here in the subject.
You know the economists you mentioned, Piketty, Straub.
Piketty, yeah.
Piketty, sorry. What kind of backgrounds are they from? And why have they got
I don't know, actually, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. Atif Mian is the one who I talked to, I think. Is it Atif Mian? Yeah.
And have they encountered similar difficulties?
So he's from Pakistan. So obviously there's a lot of poverty in Pakistan. I don't know what his background is like. If he got into the industry, he's probably not from poverty or anything. Ludwig Straub is German. Piketty, I don't know what these guys' personal background. I don't think they're from poor backgrounds. I don't know who's from a poor background. Yeah, I don't know. There's another guy, Harjun Chang, that I like. He looks at kind of different stuff, and he's well known. He's got a lot of books. If anybody's looking for more reading to do, especially if you're interested in poorer countries, there's a lot of people who have family from poorer countries who might be watching, and they're interested in the situation in these countries. He talks about that. I don't know, but when you meet someone, you don't automatically know their background, but you can get a vibe from their accent and stuff. what was amazing is like, this is Oxford, it's the top university in England. But there were no English accents, you know what I mean? There was one guy on the course from Harrogate, which is in Yorkshire, he had a Yorkshire accent. I don't think he was like strapped for cash, nice guy. There was one British Indian guy from Manchester, no, from Birmingham. Tried to pretend he was from Manchester, maybe it's from somewhere in between, Stoke. Yeah, there was no accents, man. And that's because everyone is just from that same sort of rich background from all different countries, yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm getting really emotional. I just haven't... I don't know, there's something about these alleyways that I like. And I've walked... Because I used to go to this pub and have a couple of drinks and then you sort of stagger through these alleyways. It's a beautiful night as well, like after a rainy day suddenly we've got this perfectly clear starry sky. But poorer families will be forced to lose almost all of their assets, including their home. We have a tax system which is very efficient at taxing ordinary working people, but very inefficient at taxing the super rich.